Hey everyone. One of you recently asked me how to reject people, and I thought this would be a great topic for a video because rejection is quite often something that's pretty difficult for us to handle because even being the person rejecting someone else, you can feel a lot of guilt over the potential pain you could be causing the other person. And with that, it can make it rather difficult or tricky to go about handling this. So this is what I want to cover in this video. And the first thing I want to say here is, as much as possible, you should strive to be honest. Think about this. If you were in their shoes, how would you want them to treat you? The golden rule is huge here because you probably wouldn't want to be ghosted, and you probably wouldn't want them to use or to send you a bunch of signals that they're rejecting you, but still they're not being honest and upfront about it, right? You'd probably want them to just straight up tell you that, hey, things aren't going to work out between us for whatever reason, because that honesty will save them a ton of time, and it's usually less hurtful than some of these other methods that people use. I mean, I've been ghosted before, and it absolutely sucks when it happens a few months into dating someone and things are going great, and then suddenly they just flake on a date and ghost you. That is a horrible situation to be in. So don't put other people in that situation. You are a messed up person if you do that. So don't handle it in that way by being a coward, because only cowards ghost. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So have the courage to be honest and upfront with the other person. But there are some caveats in here because I need to address these things because they are very important. So if the other person, if you can't quite trust their ability to remain level-headed and calm when you reject them, then you probably should handle it in a bit of a different way. What I mean here is, we all know that some people can be a bit manic, or some people could even potentially become violent if you were to reject them. For the case with men, some women are a bit crazy and they may do some very bad things, or I've even heard stories of guys' girlfriends grabbing a knife on him when he tries to break up with her. And that's a really bad situation. And then, of course, for women, we all know that some men can be so insecure that they become violent or aggressive when a woman rejects them. So if you have any doubts that this could potentially happen with the person that you're trying to reject, then definitely don't be honest. I hate to say it, but no, it's okay to say. Life is very nuanced. Nothing is black or white. Things are very much gray. And while I do say you should try to be honest as much as possible, there are situations like these where being honest just isn't the right way to go because you could put yourself at risk. So first and foremost, analyze the other person and make sure that they actually have the emotional maturity to handle your honesty from the get-go. But this doesn't mean that if you have like even a 5% doubt that they may become aggressive, that you shouldn't be honest with them. That is so low that you're probably going to use it as an excuse to not feel guilty over rejecting them. So then you're going to be dishonest and use ghosting or something else. So only do this in the situations where you're pretty darn confident that rejecting them would put you in danger or just at risk with them. Because otherwise, I don't want you to use this as an excuse, and like it would be very easy for a woman to act like any man could be aggressive with her when that's not exactly the case. So yeah, just don't use this as an excuse. Make sure there's actually a legit reason for it. Make sure the person has some sort of history of being hot-headed or they have a temper. But in those cases, I would say the best thing for you to do is just cut off contact in some way and just try to not be around them anymore. Try to not see them. If they literally put your safety in jeopardy, then ghosting is a good route to go here. So see, yet again, life is very nuanced, right? In general, I would say you shouldn't ghost people, but that's more so good people, normal people. If the person is aggressive or crazy or manic or anything like that, ghosting actually becomes the safe thing to do, the right thing to do. But like I said, they have to have those qualifying traits for this to work. You shouldn't just ghost people to save your own ego. Don't do that. But anyway, that long caveat aside, if the person is a good person or a normal person, then be honest with them. They deserve to know. I mean, that shouldn't, your feelings of guilt shouldn't trump that. Because this is so often the reason why people won't be straight up about the rejection, because they feel guilty for hurting the other person. But that's being self-centered. That's placing your own feelings above them and the truth and their right to know. It's not cool. Like, spare your ego and just tell them. But when you do so, make sure that you actually handle it in a way where you're not making them the reason why you're rejecting them. Don't use a stupid line, it's not you, it's me. That's cliche and BS and nobody believes it. But you should definitely just not say that it had anything to do with them. Like, don't name any of their qualities. Don't say, oh, it's because you always play video games or you always want to go out with your friends after 9 p.m. or whatever. Just don't make it about them. Just say that you realize that you can't see a future with them, or maybe it's just not going to work, or you're going in separate directions. I don't know. I'm sure you could come up with something. Just don't make it about them. That's the important thing, because you don't want to, they're already going to be hurt. So you don't want to hurt them even more by telling them, hey, yeah, you smell, or whatever it may be. So yeah, that's another tip. That's how you can let someone down a bit more gently. But also, just you want to part on as good of terms as possible if you can, so you can even wish them well. And if they are someone who is great that you just, for whatever reason, can't fit into your life, or maybe there are logistical reasons behind it, let them know. Tell them, hey, I would love to be with you, but I can't. I'm going to be moving or whatever it may be. And because of that, I hope that you find someone good for you because you're a great person. Like, that is an awesome way of rejecting someone, because you're not going to, that would almost make them feel good in some cases. Obviously they'll feel bad that they can't have you, but they're going to feel good because you're still kind of showing them, hey, you would make a great partner. It for whatever reason, won't work out between us. So that's another tip for you, but that will only really happen if the person is like pretty high quality, or they're on the way to becoming a high quality person. There's just some reason it won't work out. So probably won't happen too often, but it's a useful thing that you can use for the people who are deserving of it. But in general, you just want to have integrity here and always think about that golden rule and always strive to treat them the way that you would want to be treated yourself. Because we all know just some of the methods people use to avoid straight up rejecting someone, it can be so cruel and vicious, and it's not cool. So strive not to be one of those people yourself who ends up treating others in those callous and cold ways. Unless, like I said before, for that special caveat, but that only works in that case. So don't use that as an excuse for everyone, because that's just not cool. But anyway, I've talked long enough. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to like, share your comments or your thoughts below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.